Hello, everyone. Welcome to BizChicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. And we're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today we're here talking happy, healthy habits with Robin Shimizu. Robin is in the house. How you doing this morning, Robin?
I'm doing well, Terry. Thank you. How about you?
All is well. All is well. The sun is shining. I'm not in snow country. I feel real good about that.
Yeah,
Okay.
really. The whole country
Yes.
is under. So this morning we
Hmm.
have something that you kind of think about every once in a while. How do you start your self-care program? Or
Oh.
even start thinking about self-care. So I found a
Mm.
little tiny article on self-care tips for people
Okay.
to just kind of think about how to start and get into and acknowledging what they're doing is a form of self-care because we as women we always grew up thinking we had to do for others and we didn't care for ourselves as much as we should have been taught in some ways. We were
Yes.
always giving, giving, giving. That was how we were
Oh,
taught.
we were taught that self-care was selfish. If you didn't have enough for all, it starts in kindergarten, well, preschool now. If you don't have enough for the whole class, then, we can't do it. And you can't do it.
Yeah, yeah. So, to teach self-care is difficult and, sure, there's so many environments and so many influences and things like that. So, as adults, and we can help the young ones with self-care,
Hmm.
acknowledging it. But anyway, I digress. These are just a few self-care tips that I thought were helpful, um,
Okay.
because we've never really talked about this. Um, so one of the first things to do is to just if you can just sit back and visualize and reflect on what you want to see yourself as well. So picture yourself practicing self-care. So just practicing it, just acknowledging it that you're going to be doing it and that we're going to be taking care of ourselves and visualize and reflect. Self care is not reserved for you to be at home when you are at work. You implement self care activities and strategies throughout your day. So, practicing mindfulness was paying attention to being present in the moment with intention and kindness and curiosity is one of
Mm.
those things that we don't really consider that self care, but those positive and kindness and well intentioned feelings that you have is part of your self care journey. So that's really important. And to acknowledge your emotions and try to describe and observe your feelings, your bodily sensations, and thoughts throughout your day without judgment. And engage in self soothing practices to reward yourself in something daily. So, we judge ourselves all the time. If we feel badly or we this or that, we criticize ourselves. So try
We
to
do. We really take ourselves down, don't we?
Mhm.
And I think it comes from being chastised or whatever over the course of our childhood, and we bring it into our adulthood, and we start chastising ourselves,
Mhm. Mhm.
thinking it's discipline. Is it really?
We have to practice our kindness to ourselves as well as kindness to others, right?
Or, yeah, or is it just um, something left over from the guilt trips of our youth? Eat all that food, or somebody in another country is going to starve. You know.
And this next one is really good because it really ties into a lot of our guests' strengths. Um, we talk about engaging our five senses, so breathing, deliberately taking in breath that's deeper and slower, and using long, slow inhalations to slow your rate of breathing and taking only 6 breaths per minute, um, focusing on raising the belly and not the chest. So just breathing is one form of self-care that is so easy to do. Stop and breathe, right? Jill Weston tells us that all the time.
All the time.
Mhm.
Oh my
And
goodness,
I
yes.
think Linus and Maureen, and they have all talked about the importance of breath.
Yes.
And we take it so natural. We take it for granted.
And taught us exercises,
Mhm.
like 4 in, 4 out, pausing to just reflect on things. And um, Dr. Shaquanda Rogers
Mhm.
talked to us about, getting grounded and, just enjoying the sunshine on our face.
Yeah.
Little things that keep us in a good mood.
Mhm. Elevated. Mhm.
Mm.
Raising our vibration so that, it creates a healthy environment for your family, for your body. Oh, so this is a good segue. Notice stress within your body. So, we don't do that either. We don't tune into our bodies. We like ignore this or ignore that. So, deliberately tense and relax large muscle groups. Begin with your toes, moving to your legs, torso, arms, neck, facial muscles. Tense each set of muscles, holding the tension, then slowly release the tension and notice the difference. Now, we haven't had anybody walk us through something like that, but that sounds like it would be pretty.
I think Jill did once.
Oh, did she? Yeah. So, just noticing stress in your body and then purposefully relaxing that stress, so paying attention, right? And then the next one is listen to music, calming, soothing to you. Music that's calming and soothing to you can activate your social safety system. And I don't listen to enough music.
I don't either. I'm not a music person. I have got to do better. There's so many free channels. There's Amazon Music, and there's Apple Music, and it's just all kinds of music channels, and people have playlists and everything. I gotta do better. And I'm sure that music is calming if you're using the right type of music. You know what I'm
Mhm,
saying?
mhm,
Or even invigorating, because I'm a
mhm,
Motown fan. I mean,
mhm,
I go back. So I would love, because I know all the lyrics. I'm familiar with it, and it makes me want to move.
mhm,
So that would probably be good for my self care.
mhm, mhm. Have what is it, Alexa, help us find a channel that we enjoy and put it in the background, so when we're cleaning the house or whatever, we have uplifting music or music that we like. um yeah, so I'm gonna start listening to more music. I think I'm gonna try it and see how it works, because I have resources. It's like no reason not to.
We've got our phones. We got everything has access to music.
Okay, and this last one is interesting. I've never really heard it worded this way, but they say view pictures linked to warm joy and a sense of peace. Possibly pictures of your family, loved ones, friends, pets, landscapes, or whatever provides you comfort. So, looking at visuals that bring you comfort and provide you peace is another way of acknowledging and practicing some self care that uh, I hadn't thought about that either.
I hadn't either. And you know something? These things come up on my phone every morning, a different, what would you call it, montage?
Hmm.
And I do enjoy it. I very
Hmm.
quickly I go through there and those memories, I think they call them memories for the day or something. But anyway, they come up and it is really quite enjoyable. I find myself smiling.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about it as self-care.
So what I decided to do is to bring my mom's photo albums out and put them out where we can grab them and look at them and go through them and have her go through them and go through the pictures. So that brought up a really great idea for me to just switch things around in the house to make it more accessible so that people will
You
just,
know
yeah,
what? When you're going through that scrapbook, you might want to turn your recorder on and let her just tell you who those people are.
it's a good idea. Yep.
So you can combine that and it's in a very comfortable setting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then you can write on the back of those photographs.
Yes.
Unlike digital stuff, you can write who they are because we do not. I have pictures of my great grandparents, brothers and sisters. I have no idea who these people are. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
can't tell my children who their great aunts are.
Hmm.
So if you can get that information and write it on the back, it would
Hmm.
be very helpful.
Yep. Yep. So that's it. Those were the self care tips for today. And we have with us Dr. Lawana Parker. And we get to see her every once in a while. She's our journaling coach
Hmm.
and our mental, I call her, she helps us figure out, I don't know exactly how to say it this morning. Putting our thoughts down on a piece of paper to help our mental health is,
Our mental health transcriptionist.
yeah,
Okay.
there you go.
Hmm.
So let's bring on Lawana and see what she has for us today.
Hmm. To show us how to be our scribes for our brain. Here we go.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning, Doc.
Good to see you, Lawana.
You guys are, you really make my day when I listen to you speak. We were here this morning.
Thank you.
Well, we know that you are a journaling specialist. And so we're coming to you to find out how can we combine journaling with self-care. I'm hearing an echo. Okay.
No sound in my house. I'm not sure where
Okay,
the
it's probably
echo is
me. Let me
coming
turn
from.
myself down a little bit. Or I can go out and come back in. But okay, that's it. That's it.
Okay, well, one of the things that journaling does is that it helps to create mental clarity.
Oh.
When you start writing things down, you may not see it at first when you put it on paper, but if you wait a day or two and go back and read it, there's clarity there. And many times you see the answer to whatever the problem or situation is. I call it my way of communicating with God and Him giving me an answer.
Okay. Wow.
That, that's one way of looking at it as far as self care is concerned. Um, there are so many benefits. I couldn't possibly give you all of them, but I will say that besides the mental clarity, it helps to keep you calm. You know how they always used to tell you write stuff down, write a letter to whoever it is you're having a problem with,
Uh-huh.
but don't mail it.
Yes.
Well, that's what journaling does for you. you you can write it down. It releases everything. It gives you a peace of mind, a sense of calmness. And then later, when you go back and you read it, and all of a sudden you have answers that you hadn't thought of before because you're
Mm.
looking at it differently. Um, I don't know what it is about it. It's just something that I discover when I write is that it brings back um, benefits where I can see things. And that's why I started saying, okay, this is how I communicate with God. He gives me answers through my writing.
Mm.
Uh,
Wow.
all
That's
I can do is tell you, try it and see if it doesn't work for you. Had I not done that, I never would have gotten that first book out with my name on the cover.
yes. Oh my goodness. So I never thought of journaling as calming or a source of clarity. And I think, let me tell you why I think this is the case.
Mhm.
I think it's because I was always writing under pressure, under assignment. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to just writing for the sake of writing.
Hmm.
It was
Absolutely.
write a theme in the sixth grade, write a essay, write
Mhm.
a sentence in the first grade, write a paragraph in the second grade. So every level had a requirement every time I picked up a pen or a pencil There
Mm-hmm.
was something associated with a deadline or an assignment. And so I think this is one of the reasons why
Mhm.
I don't feel these things when you say journaling can be calming, it can provide answers, and it can provide clarity. What can I do about that? Maybe I need to call Jill.
But you know, in the beginning, when I used to write as a kid, I used to write sometimes when I felt bad about something or upset about something, and something didn't go my way. And it was my way of releasing it because I was growing up. I had friends, don't get me wrong, but I was a very quiet, keep to myself type of person. I
Mhm.
didn't share inner feelings, things that bothered me. I always carried it within me because I didn't want to add burdens to others.
Mhm.
This is how bad I was, okay? I didn't even want to burden God with my problems. I was saying, He's got the whole world. He don't need me added on to.
Oh.
Never realizing then, because I didn't talk to anyone, that that's what He does.
Mm.
And you know, it took me years to understand that because even as an adult, I was feeling that way. I don't
Mhm.
want to add to all the things that He's dealing with. I can handle this some kind of way on my own. But
Wow.
Mm.
that's what He's for. That's His whole purpose is to be there for you and to help you when you need that help. Um, but as I said, I was a private person, so didn't talk to anyone, and no one knew what I was experiencing. It wasn't as an adult that I started realizing that there was a connection between the writing
Mhm.
when I was upset about something and how I felt afterwards. When I went through my period of depression, and that's the only thing I can call it because I was really in a bad place, uh, and I was directed to start writing it. You know, just write everything that was bothering me. And that, as I said, that led me to actually getting it published because once I went back and read it,
Mhm.
I thought, okay, so you got a problem here. What are you going to do about it? You know, how are you going to get out of this situation? And it was a great help for me to be able to look at that and see some things that I could do. In fact, three of the things that they talk about um, with journaling is the exploring the possibilities. When you put something on paper and you just put it there, you don't judge, you just put it there.
Uh-huh.
And it helps you see possibilities that you otherwise may not have. Not everybody needs to do that, but some of us need to actually put it down and see it in writing for ourselves to see what it is that we can do and not what we can't do or somebody's not going to like or judge us for. As I call that my great, my best friend because it doesn't judge me.
Oh.
Mm.
Tell me you're wrong, you don't stand a chance. It just lets me be me
Mhm.
and see all those possibilities.
Mhm.
Wow. I just never learned how to be that introspective.
Right.
And I think this is an opportunity
Mhm.
to do that.
You know,
I Yeah, I agree with you on that because I never thought about being introspective either, and I never thought about how powerful that can be. Uh, there are others. Journaling isn't the only one, but I like journaling best because I put it on paper. I can go back and look at it. You
Mhm.
can meditate. You can sit and just find a quiet place where it's just you and just think on
Just
what it is that's going on with you. But once you get up from that position, you don't have anything that you can go back and say, here's my answer. Now,
mm.
again, as I say, everybody's not the same. And some people can get their answers from doing that. So I'm not putting any of that down. You have to find the one that works for you,
Yeah.
because you need to take care of you. You're talking about self-care this morning, and
Mhm.
self-care is extremely important. You know, when you think about what Jesus said when he said he gave to us, he gave a new commandment
Mhm.
to love others as you love yourself. And it took me a long time to realize that he was telling me it's okay to love me. It's okay
Okay.
for me to care about who I am and what I think and feel, and to give others that same love and respect.
Mhm.
So that's how journaling helps me.
Wow.
Well, I wanted to share how Luana has helped me
Okay.
in because we've had Luana on the show for what last couple of years, helping us with this journaling. And so what I started to do, I have a binder for every activity that I have. So I have a binder for BizChicks and I have a binder for, other things. And what I've been doing is at the end of all my notes for that meeting or whatever it is I record, because I record what I do,
Mhm.
I put down my feelings about how I felt about that activity or that class or that meeting or whatever. I've been trying to write down my feelings because that's hard for me to
Mhm.
articulate how I feel about stuff. And Lawana has helped me with that. And then I go back and I read it and I went, wow, that's not badly written. Did I really write that? So, it's very helpful and it's encouraging.
It is, and I'm laughing because that's exactly what I do. I go back and I read something. I go, "Wow, that was pretty profound. Did that come from me?" Oh, yes. So many possibilities, and y- you can take that, the lessons you learn and the feelings you have, and create your own book with that, because maybe somebody needs to hear some of the things that you put in those books, I should say. Whether you're going to write a business book, a self-help book, or maybe some memoirs. There's all kinds of books out there. And in fact, I have a writing coach, and she has templates for 10 different types of books
Mm.
that you can write on your own. Don't need anyone else to help you with them. And I think it's just great. I encourage everybody, write your story. Somebody out there is waiting to hear what you have to say.
Wow. Yeah, while you were talking, an idea came to me for a book. So I'm just gonna put that over here and send it to myself. It's note. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Great. That just leads me into saying I have a master class on the 23rd. You should come to it. One of the things
Oh,
we will be talking about is putting your thoughts into a book. So it's a
oh,
free class, 90 minutes, and you'll get all kinds of tips and things in there.
We need to
okay.
put that link into the chat, I think, huh? Do you have
Yes.
a
Is that over here on your blog? Is it offered on your blog?
Not yet, but I do have you. People can either direct message me on Facebook, or they can
Mhm.
send me an email, and I will send them the link to get into it. So
Okay.
yeah, it's going to be full of information. We're going to do some brain dumping and explore some possibilities, and
Okay.
just share with you how you can get yourself started, either with journaling or just writing.
Okay. I'm gonna put that information in the comments so people can find you.
what time? That's a Thursday. What time is it going to be, Lawana?
It's 11 to 12:30.
Perfect. Okay.
All right. I was cutting and pasting. What is the date?
That'll be March the 23rd, 11
March
to
the 23rd.
12:30.
Okay. Thank you.
That's a good day for me. Thursdays are a good day for me. So I think I'm going to come and just hang out.
Okay. So it's March the 23rd at what time?
11 or 12:30, and there's
Okay.
nothing wrong with hanging out because you'll be able to take some nuggets away that can help you. And if you decide you want to write a book, you'll have some great ideas of how to go about putting it together.
Wow. Well, you have to stop by First Mondays and let everybody know and get them signed up for this course, Luana, because I think we all need an opportunity to tell people who we are, whether we think it's significant or not. Somebody wants to know who we are and how we touched others.
This is
Now,
true.
you also had something that you did recently, or the Toastmasters, was that? Yes. I
Oh,
lost track of you. So
yesterday, yes.
tell us
Yes.
about that.
I spoke at Level Up Toastmasters as a great group of people, and I was invited. Well, I'd be perfectly truthful. I am a member of that group, but I was invited to do a 25-minute talk,
Oh,
and it was very profound, if I do say so myself. And
ah,
based on my evaluations, there were a couple of things that I could improve. One of them being, I got a suggestion on a new title for that talk, which I am definitely going to start using because I loved it. Legacy of Courage was the
oh,
suggestion for the title
hmm,
because of the talk that I gave. But it went very well. I talked about my struggle, what was going on in my life, how I felt led to get into journaling, uh,
hmm,
some of
hmm.
the people that I've helped along the way. And I even shared a passage from my book with them so that they, again, had some ideas of what it was I did and how I came to get out of my situation. I had 5 steps that I went through, which was to, one was to recognize that me personally, I'm a survivor. You know,
Hmm.
uh, no matter what negatives are going on, suicide is never going to be the answer for me. Okay, so I am a survivor of whatever the situation is. Then I talked about the second step, which was to assess, okay, where I was at now, and where I wanted to be.
Okay.
And that was probably the hardest part because uh, I had to realize that the things that had gone wrong in my life wasn't someone else's doing. Those were choices and decisions that I made, uh, and that put me where I was at that time. And now I had to either continue doing what I had been doing or figure out how to get out of it
Hmm.
and change directions. And that's the great thing about being human. We can change directions and do whatever it is that we want to do to help ourselves. So then the third step was to accept the fact that I am Luana. I have a lot of flaws, a lot of weaknesses, but there's something in me that's strong enough to keep me going, that helps me uh, to be there for others when they have had need of me, and to just accept that, hey, I'm not perfect, but you know what? Everything God makes is perfect. I may not be perfect for you, but I am for Him. And He made no carbon copies, so I am it. I am enough. You know, so accepting that was a biggie also because we always talk negative to ourselves
We do.
about what's wrong with us, and
Mhm,
those things stick. I
mhm,
mean, for every negative, you probably need about 100 positives to
mhm.
Wow.
get that negative out of the way.
Hmm.
And then my fourth step was to embrace me once I accepted who I was. Now I had to embrace me and move on and figure out what I wanted to do and be willing to do it.
Hmm.
And that brings me to the fifth step, which was to act on the decisions that I made.
Wow.
And I'm I'm not perfect. I still make mistakes. But one of the biggest things that I have learned in the past 2 or 3 years is that because I'm not perfect and because I have weakness and flaws, it's okay to ask for help. I
Mhm.
don't have to try to do it all on my own by myself. It's all right for me to let somebody know I'm in trouble and I need help.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. So
Wow.
So
yeah.
I was writing those down and I missed the first two points, Lawan. It was accept, embrace, and act were the last three, four, and
Three.
five.
Yeah.
What was the
The
first?
first is recognizing that I was the survivor. That
Okay.
Okay.
regardless of what was going on in my life, I was going to figure out how to survive. I mean,
Mhm.
even if it meant walking the streets, out there with my hands out, I am going to survive.
Mhm. Mhm.
And
Mhm.
the second one was assessing me,
Oh.
to look at where I had come from, how I got to where I was at that point, and where I wanted to be.
Wow.
Mhm. At any rate, all of this led to me getting into journaling. Not right away. I
Mhm.
was still asking God what was my purpose, why I was here. And COVID started in March of 2020, but it wasn't until December of 2020 that God told me He wanted me to get into journaling.
Oh.
And I realize now that the journaling was a stepping stone to me writing.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
Writing is something I always wanted to do and always talked myself out of because I felt I wasn't as good as the other
Who,
people who wrote
who
books.
other? Yeah.
I couldn't come up with enough information to put in a 200-page book. And who would be interested in hearing what I had to say? But you
Mm.
know, we live in a fabulous time.
We do.
We may have some problems, but you can go out there, thank you, Amazon, and you can write a 3,000-page ebook
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
say what you have to say. And there's somebody who needs to hear those 3,000 words. So no excuses any longer.
Hey,
Wow.
Lawana, have you ever thought about writing a romance novel or a book of fiction or anything like that? With all of your
I
practice.
have several starts,
Mm.
uh, some good starts, as a matter of fact. And I pull them out from time to time and I look at them and I go, wow, I wrote that. Um, I don't know why I haven't really wrote a romance. I think it might be because I like romance that have a little sex in there,
Mhm.
Gotta be more human. It can't just be, well, let's look at Hallmark.
Victorian.
I love Hallmark. I look at the love stories on there, everything, and I love it. But when I'm reading a book about
Mhm.
romance, I want all the details.
Oh, I see.
Love that.
And I think
I
that's
see.
why I haven't written one because I'm not quite sure I'm up to writing all the
All
details.
of that.
That's so funny.
Well, I'm sure that there's a market for it, Doctor.
Oh, trust me. Let me tell you, I've got a little over 2,000 books on my Amazon Kindle alone. That doesn't count the
Wow.
PDF books I have and the books that are in my house.
Mhm.
Trust me, there is a market. I cannot be the only one who is buying these books. And they have stories to them. Don't get me wrong. When I'm talking about these romance, they're not just, that hardcore stuff. These are
Yeah.
actually romance with stories and things.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
one of my favorite authors is Theodora Taylor. I
Mm.
absolutely love her books. The first time I read one, I thought, oh gosh, she wrote this in first person. The story description was great. I wanted to read this story, but it was in first person. I really had to force myself to read it because I like third person, where I know what's going on with everybody.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh,
But
okay.
here's the thing that she does, and I have since discovered other authors are doing the same thing. She puts you in her main character, the woman,
Hmm.
and you know her thoughts and feelings and everything that's going on with her. But then she'll go over to the guy and she'll put you in his head. So you
Oh.
know everything that's going on with him. So it's usually back and forward.
Mm.
Occasionally she might put you in the head of some other character that's in there, but it's usually the two of them that you're going back and forth with. And I discovered I really enjoyed reading her books. So I had to go and find if she had others. I think the first one I read was called Her Russian Billionaire.
Mm.
I think that was the title, something like that. At any rate, that led me to looking for other books by her, and I discovered the woman has a ton of books. She's going through every state. She's
Oh,
got a story in every state.
interesting.
Yeah, and I don't think she's finished all the states yet
Mm-hmm.
because in between she writes um, shifter stories. I don't know if you're familiar with shifter story. That's when people turn into wolves or
Oh,
lions or
oh,
whatever kind of shifter they are, bears, and those are good. I enjoy those. She's even got some time travel books where people have come from the past to the future.
uh-huh.
And one I thought was really interesting because this girl who was raised in this community of werewolves. She was one too, but she didn't have all the capabilities that the others had of
Mm-hmm.
change. And she always felt kind of isolated and alone. Well, this Viking shows up from the past. And of course, they fall in love, and he
Mm.
takes her back with him. And somehow she got pulled back, but by then she was really in love and really liking the life she was leading and didn't want to come back. So what she did was there was this sword that was in the museum, and
Mm-hmm.
some kind of way she got a message on that sword of what he could do to get her back, and he came back for her, and she went to live in the past.
Okay, that's a little
Very romantic.
far-fetched for me. I guess I'm a little more practical than that.
I'm telling you, girl, the books I have read. I mean, I've been when I tell people I've been everywhere. I'm serious. I've been in the past. I've been in the future. I've been on other planets. I mean, you name it.
This,
We're getting away from journaling, but when you start talking about books, I absolutely love talking about romance books. I could go all day with those.
oh my goodness. Well, Doc, I want to share um the blog location for your blog here. Can everybody see that? This is Dr. Lawana's blog. You can go there and read some of the most interesting articles. I really enjoy the fact that she is a master blogger, and if you're looking to learn how to blog successfully, Dr. Lawana Parker is an excellent source.
Mhm.
Thank you.
With, with
Thank
that,
you.
we want to remind you that she has a workshop coming up. We put the information in the chat. It's March 23rd from 11 to 12:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can sign up. There's no charge right now. It's complimentary. And come on over. You're going to be teaching on.
I'll be talking on journaling, how to get started in that,
Okay.
and how to get started writing if that's what you really want to do. Doesn't matter if you don't know anything about writing.
Okay.
Absolutely, it does
That's
not
a
matter.
good thing.
Come anyway.
Okay.
I guarantee you will leave with something that you can start working on once you get off that call.
Fantastic. All righty. So thank you so much, Dr. Parker. And guys, I just want you to follow Dr. Parker on Instagram, on Facebook, and over on LinkedIn.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything you want to share before we close out?
Only to remind each of you that you have a story to tell, and no one can tell it better than you.
Mm, thank you. Thank you. Oh my goodness. So um that was profound. Um you got me tongue-tongued here. Okay. Robin, who do we have coming up next week?
Next week, we have Lakeisha Appleton with us, our
Lakeisha.
Mary Kay consultant. Yes.
Okay. So we're gonna get even more beautiful next week.
Yes.
Okay.
Love that, Mary Kay.
Love that, Mary Kay. Oh my goodness. Guys, I want to remind you that if you're looking to become a part of the Biz Chicks community, that you can simply text biz to 33777. We'd love for you to be a part of our community. Come on over, tell us what it is you do. We'd love to share with others what it is you do and how you serve them. Or you can go to bizchicks.net, and that is a link there to become a part of the BizChicks community. We look forward to serving you. And remember, if you're having trouble with your tech, if you need help with your descriptions on your stores, or you need to know how to market yourself, how to get more customers, call the Biz Chicks. With that, we want to remind you it's okay to make money in your business. So go to the front of your own line. Have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow. We will be talking tech in English, so don't be scared. Come on over and enjoy the conversation. Thank you again, Robin, for all you do. Thank you, Dr. Parker. Bye
Thank you.
bye, everyone.